So we are to believe, according to Cosmopolitan, that this is healthy. This is healthy. Now, first off, this is not an attempt to body shame. I don't hold myself up as the ultimate looking pinnacle of rugged good looks and class, and I don't expect others to as well. I'm not body shaming. I'm not looks shaming. I would be in the worst position to ever do that. However, this makes us pause and reflect. Rather than change, there was a joke on the Drew Carey show years ago. If you remember, Ryan Stiles says to, rather than make Drew Carey lose weight, it's easier for the rest of the world to get fatter. But that's become a reality now. It's amazing how many of our TV shows are becoming reality. I mean, jokes like Idiocracy, everything is falling apart. Everything is just falling to pieces and losing its way. But the result is we're lowering the standards. We're lowering the standards as a nation. We're lowering the standards as a culture and as individuals with our expectations. We're falling because we look at people and we say, hey, you know what? I should love my body. So let me start by acknowledging the truth of what I'm saying here. If you want to be big, if you want to carry weight, totally cool. No harm there at all. In fact, it is healthy mentally to say it's okay if I have a little junk in the trunk. It's okay if I have a little extra on me. There's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, having fat reserves on your body is no different than a bodybuilder in off-season. I hate to use bodybuilding in this conversation because bodybuilding is generally not healthy, but it is good to work out your muscles. We'll go that far. But the problem becomes when you start to expect to be thin all the time. That's not reasonable. So to have some fat on the body is a normal thing. To have a normal BMI, and we won't dedicate to what a normal BMI is because that's not the point here. Having fat is normal. However, most people who say this, and this is the problem with the fat acceptance movement, they're not okay with it. They say, well, I'm okay with being fat. I've accepted myself. Really? Why are you still talking about it? Why is it still a topic? So most people who are carrying a lot of weight still have an issue. That's why they still keep trying to diet. They still keep doing things. And that's why this channel has the value that it has. Because when people get done playing games, they end up losing weight. But this is also reassuring for another reason, because it means those of you who have tried and failed to lose weight, you're in a position like, this woman here. Your goal, it's not that high a priority. Otherwise you would do it. You do things that are a priority for you. You go to the doctor today and the doctor says you're going to die because your cholesterol's too high. Guess what? That'll change your perspective. You'll drop the cheese. You'll drop the shrimp and pork, and you'll start going to eating a low-fat plant-based diet if there's an incentive. You see how we work? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you're honest about your intentions. So getting back to the fat acceptance movement and being obese, are you okay with it? If you're not, it's time to make changes. If you are, hold up your cup to the world and say, good enough. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to look at myself in the mirror and say, I've got it going on. And it's really true. You are as you perceive yourself. Your dating life may change as a lighter person. I look back at the women I dated after I was freshly divorced as a newly thin guy. And I started to realize that, yeah, I could date some women who were, buy my clothes at the normal store, being that I was able to, but it wasn't that big a deal. Ultimately, if you're confident, your problems are going to remain the same before and after weight loss. If you're confident in a big body, there's nothing wrong with having a big body. You see where we're going here. It's in your head, but the problem is there's a disconnect in your head and your heart. There's a disconnect in what your real intentions are with yourself and who you are. When I would get bullied on the playground as a kid, you get punched by a bully, the person that gets punched would say, that didn't hurt. Of course it did hurt, but you're trying to put up a front. And that's what a lot of people do, sadly. But when you get older in the adult world, you can admit, yes, I cried at that movie. Yes, I felt this way. Yes, this hurt. And you start to realize that your strength is in your honesty, not in what you can take. That's the big difference. For those of you who are pretty young, that's the real difference. Just learning yourself. Be honest about your intentions. Be honest about your goals. Be honest about what it is you want to achieve. If you want to fit into a size 6, line it up. Do it. But don't be dishonest and say, I'll get to it if it's healthy, if it's convenient, and that's the problem. Most of you have ill-conceived expectations of where you want to be, body image. There's little you can do about that except be honest. But you can be honest. You can say, I know where I stand. So if you go 5 or 10 days on OMAD and you jump off, there's a reason you jumped off. Because you didn't have enough stock in keeping going, because when you started, you weren't honest about your intentions. If you were, you'd have said, oh no, I'm going to be, a year from now, I'm going to be 100 pounds lighter. If you're that honest, then you can succeed. If you're not, and you don't know yourself, that's a problem, because you're stuck in a loop and you can't figure that the way out of it is just to know yourself. All right. That's it for today. These are perilous times. Big tech has been going crazy. As such, I, along with a lot of people, have found myself trying to find some legit allegiances. But these are turbulent times. I have decided to go with minds.com, minds.com. It is a platform that is known for free speech. I have a social media account there, minds.com/Joe Holman Online, or joeholmanonline.com will take you there. Please join these efforts to keep free speech free and available. Join me there. We're going to have a group there. We're going to have discussion forums there, and we're going to fight big tech there. If you share my views on this, you owe it to yourself. If you are a person who values free speech and open dialogue and open debate, you need to jump over to minds.com, register an account, get active. I'm also on gab.com under OMAD Revolution. We need to stay together and stay strong. I will continue on YouTube for the time being. However, in the coming months, I'm going to reassess that. Friends, we are losing our rights, we are losing our liberties, and these big tech oligarchies, these monopolies are not helping. Jump over to minds.com. You can message me there. This will be my central location. And we are going to let big tech know that this sort of censorship is not okay. Sadly, YouTube has gone the way and joined hands with Amazon and Google and all of the rest of these. And I try never to make this channel to deal with unnecessarily controversial issues or issues that touch on politics. But friends, this is not about politics. This is about right versus wrong. This is about morality. This is about doing the right thing and being able to raise your children in a world where they can express their opinions freely. Join me at minds.com, Joe Holman Online, or follow joeholmanonline.com, and let's stick together.